Good afternoon or good morning. Happy New Year. This is the actions taken from the Select Board meeting of January 2nd. We had one item of business on that evening. We interviewed two finalists for the position of Fire Chief. And we're delighted to announce that we have selected Gary Daugherty Jr., currently who was the acting fire chief, to continue serving as the fire chief pending successful contract negotiations. So it's really good news for Hopkinton. Just to give the community a little bit of a encapsulated summary of the process, when we were looking for our new fire chief, we engaged Community Paradigm Associates, and John Petrin worked with us to conduct the search for our new fire chief. They posted and advertised the position, and ultimately that yielded 11 applicants. The search committee was comprised of Maria Casey from HR. She has now left, so Kristen Merrill finished that process with us. Norman Kamalo, the town manager, Patricia Duarte, the chair of the personnel committee, myself, Muriel Kramer, the chair of the select board, and Kevin Breen, the fire chief from Marlboro, helped us in that as part of that search committee. We met with Community Paradigm and selected candidates from those 11 applicants. Ultimately, we conducted initial interviews with 8 candidates. And then after that, we selected 4 very highly qualified candidates to participate in the assessment center, which offers an opportunity for candidates to interact with real-world typical duty scenarios and to be evaluated on their responses. From that process, ultimately, actually 3 candidates took part in that assessment, and 2 were ultimately forwarded to the select board as final candidates to be interviewed last Tuesday night. Both candidates did extremely well and were very well qualified and will be great assets to any department. Ultimately, as I mentioned at the beginning, we unanimously selected Gary Daugherty Jr. for Hopkinton's next fire chief pending successful contract negotiations. Gary began his firefighting career in the United States Air Force and came to Hopkinton in 2004, I believe, and was then promoted in 2011 to lieutenant, and then again to deputy chief in 2022. He has been serving as our interim fire chief since 2023. There's actually one of our first in our first class of paramedics and continues to maintain his status as a paramedic, which is important to the fire department going forward. His strengths include his demonstrated ability with the budget process, his successes in securing multiple grants for Hopkinton over his tenure, and his relationship, of course, his existing relationship with the department staff and also with our mutual aid responders in our surrounding towns. He also impressed us with the ways that he has translated real world circumstances into actionable projects that are improvements for the town, really speak to the needs of the residents. For one example, in response to community concerns at Legacy Farms, he has instituted a daily ride through in the Legacy Farms neighborhood and takes the team takes readings to help ensure the comfort and safety of the residents there. He also took the LNG manual that was very extensive, over 500 pages, and translated it or reworked it into a more workable document for his team to use in the event of an emergency up there. And in response to a tragedy last year at the Easter morning fire that took 2 lives, he and his staff have secured funds for smoke detectors and have done a community initiative to educate residents and also get working smoke detectors in homes that did not previously have them. So we are really fortunate and grateful to be able to announce that Chief Daugherty is our new fire chief. We congratulate him on his successes, and I know the community will join us in congratulating him and feeling appreciative that he will continue his service with us. And that is the meeting from the 2nd.